Now on CoastTV News.
Audit sparks alarm. Why a Slaughter Beach Fire Company's records raise serious red flags. Bypass complete. A look at the $140 million project aimed at easing Millsboro traffic. Ocean's Calling returns. Big crowds, live music, and beachside vibes hit Ocean City this weekend.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Damp, muggy start. Seeing a last batch of showers push through the southern portion of the peninsula. We are looking at drier conditions this afternoon, but an unsettled weekend. I'll have details next.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 6 o'clock hour on this Friday morning. We are almost to the weekend. We are rounding out the first week of fall, even though it has not felt like fall at all. First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono is going to tell us the forecast because, Chris, a lot of people are heading to Ocean's Calling this weekend.
Good morning, Elisa. Yes, we have an important weekend there, and we're going to have a good night tonight. We're a bit unsettled right now across the area, seeing some showers. Pretty dry there in Cambridge, but quite muggy out there still. 70 degrees, dew point around 70. We are pretty calm as far as the winds are concerned, but you can see the southern half of the peninsula has been dealing with some rain this morning, primarily Ocean City to Salisbury. Some heavier pockets of rain there now beginning to move into Crisfield and Rumbly, then pushing into Marmusco there, and then we're seeing some heavier rain push just off the coast. A little of that lightning there, that storm really intensifying as it pushes off the coast there of Cape Charles, and this is all pushing out to sea. And behind this front, it's going to be sagging to our south through the weekend and stalling out, but we have some drier air filtering in through this afternoon. Now, where we did see the rain, or we are currently seeing rain, we are seeing some minor fog. So patchy fog this morning, so use some caution in those areas. We're at 71 Long Neck, 72 Millsboro, to 69 there in Milford. As I mentioned, dew points, look at that, lower 70s. And we'll see the dew points drop a bit through the afternoon as conditions begin to improve. Sunshine by the afternoon, but more clouds than sun over the weekend, tracking a round of rain late Saturday through Sunday. And we're keeping a real close eye on the tropics, how that may impact our weather early next week. So we have the rain to start, some clouds, but then gradually clearing through the afternoon with highs reaching the upper 70s to lower 80s. So a nice afternoon on this Friday. We'll talk more about the weekend ahead and the tropics coming up in your full forecast. Lisa.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this half hour concerns over how a fire company in Slaughter Beach handled its money. A state performance audit found the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company did not follow certain policies, kept poor expense records, and lacked strong oversight. The review covered 2021 to 2023, a period when state officials say the company received more than $2.6 million in state funds. Fire Chief Kent Glasgow told CoastTV the issues began under previous leadership and that corrective actions have already been taken to improve transparency and strengthen financial integrity. This just in, the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says current leadership has already enforced several changes. According to a new statement from the agency, some of those changes include hiring an independent accounting firm to manage payroll and more, mandating supporting paperwork and a review of all major expenses, and more oversight on the annual budget. The Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says, quote, "These changes ensure the MVFC remains accountable to our community, our members, and our funding partners," end quote. New this morning, paychecks and public safety are the focus today as Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is expected to sign 2 bills into law. According to his office, the first, House Bill 105, mandates most employers to list salaries and benefits in job postings. The second is House Bill 136. Delaware lawmakers say this increases enforcement against unlicensed massage and bodywork establishments. On your screen now is the North Millsboro bypass. DelDOT held a ribbon cutting on Monday, but rain delayed the opening of the roadway until Thursday night. The bypass stretches over the Millsboro Pond and has 4 bridges. Construction on this massive project lasted just over 2 years, with a cost reaching past $140 million. DelDOT says this will ease congestion in downtown Millsboro, and one Millsboro local says the bypass being done should make it easier to get around town.
It's utilized the way it's supposed to be. A lot of the truck traffic will be diverted, and a lot of the vacation traffic.
The bypass is expected to fully open this morning. However, according to DelDOT, after the bypass opens, there will still be intermittent lane closures as final road striping is complete. This is now going to bring us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what will you use the bypass for most? And so far, 47% say they will rarely use the bypass. Some say they will use it to skip the downtown area, 19% for faster commutes, and 1% for a truck route. And if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttv.com or over on our mobile app. We are now taking a live look outside at Ocean City. Thousands of people are heading here today for a major music festival. Happening today in Ocean City, the town expects to see around 50,000 people at the big music festival. Today marks the start of Ocean's Calling 2025. On your screen now is a look inside the three-day event. On Thursday, there was still work to be done before gates opened. Crews could be seen making final preparations. Town leaders are expecting waves of people.
We're looking forward to a huge weekend here in Ocean City. We have 55,000 guests that will be down here for 3 days. We're kicking off Friday night.
And businesses near the event tell us they're excited for those crowds. An Ocean's Calling information toolkit has been released. Organizers shared updated details to help concert goers plan ahead. For those planning on taking an Uber, Lyft, or other rideshare service, the pickup and drop-off lot is at the 4th Street Municipal Lot. Power has been restored at Grand Central Station following an outage on Thursday. Officials say Grand Central Terminal experienced a drop in voltage to the feeder network around 8:30 p.m. that resulted in lights going out in portions of the building. MTA officials say no injuries were reported, but 5 Metro North Railroad employees were briefly in elevators that stopped without electricity until doors were opened and emergency generators were activated. Stormwater and flooding are back in focus in Bethany Beach today. The town manager is expected to provide an update to its stormwater and flood resilience projects. According to the agenda, that includes progress on the Loop Canal and Assawoman Canal Flap Dam. Construction on a new Loop Canal bulkhead is set to begin soon, and plans for a living shoreline are moving closer to the bidding phase. The Bethany Beach Stormwater and Flood Committee will gather at 2 o'clock. New this morning in Dewey Beach, commissioners are expected to choose a new mayor. That is according to the agenda for this afternoon's town council meeting. Commissioners are set to appoint a new mayor for a 1-year term, followed by a swearing-in ceremony. Also on the table, an ordinance to repeal the town's alarm code while keeping false alarm violations as a civil offense. There is also a proposal for the Planning and Zoning Commission to set a mandatory minimum number of trees required for new construction projects. New overnight, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted, charged with making a false statement and obstruction. The unprecedented move comes days after President Trump publicly suggested Attorney General Pam Bondi should move forward with prosecutions against Comey and other political adversaries. NBC's Alice Barr shows us how Comey is responding.
Incidences of obstruction of justice.
This morning, a former director of the FBI waking up as a felony defendant. James Comey now indicted by a grand jury on charges of making a false statement and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. It is a major escalation against someone President Trump sees as a political enemy.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump.
Comey posting this video overnight.
And I'm innocent, so let's have a trial.
As the president celebrated the news with the words "Justice in America." The charges stem from congressional testimony Comey gave in September 2020 when he was pressed over whether he lied to Congress years earlier about authorizing a leak to the press involving investigations into Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton.
I stand by what the testimony you summarized.
The statute of limitations for the charges was set to run out next week. On Saturday, President Trump publicly pressed Attorney General Pam Bondi to take action against Comey and other perceived political opponents who've investigated him. Yesterday, before the indictment, saying this.
I think I'd be allowed to get involved if I want, but I don't really choose to do so. I can only say that Comey's a bad person.
The top prosecutor tasked with leading the Comey investigation resigned last week rather than seeking an indictment, while a senior DOJ official tells NBC News career prosecutors laid out why they believe there was not enough evidence to charge in a memo to President Trump's hand-picked replacement and former personal attorney Lindsay Halligan, who has no experience as a prosecutor and is now the only one to sign Comey's charging papers. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today. We still have a lot more news to get to. Coming up, Helping Delaware's Heroes, a resource fair aimed to give veterans a boost in job seeking. We'll tell you why the Department of Labor says these kinds of events are important. And Stamp Price Update will tell you the new announcement from the U.S. Postal Service that could mean relief for your wallet. And Car Seat Safety will tell you how to ensure the proper installation this weekend in Delaware. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Well, we made it to Friday, and it is still quite tropical stepping outside the door this morning as we take a live look into Ocean City. 74 degrees there, 72 degree dew point, and we're seeing some light showers, some drizzle in and across Coastal Highway from Ocean View down through Ocean City. The heaviest pocket of rain now extending from Tangier all the way through Crisfield, and this is beginning to weaken as it pushes off the coast. Still seeing some rain there through Chincoteague, but the heaviest thunderstorms are off to the south, and we're going to be seeing some drier air filter in later on this morning, all behind this cold front that's going to stall out just to the south of us over the weekend. Temperatures right now holding at 73 in Indian River Inlet, 73 Rehoboth. We're at 70 Bridgeville, 72 Delmar. Big weekend in Ocean City. Now we are going to be improving through the evening tonight, so we're looking dry. Temperatures in the 70s. Now tomorrow night, we're going to be dealing with some rain moving through, some heavier rain, even an isolated thunderstorm, and I think we salvage Sunday, but a lot of clouds, cooler with the wind coming off the ocean, but I think most of Sunday is dry with a few morning showers. We'll talk more about the weekend and a look at the tropics, how that could impact our weather early next week in that full 7-day forecast. Lisa.
Thank you, Chris. BB Healthcare is announcing they will host a series of community flu shot clinics across Sussex County. The clinics will run through early November. The upcoming 3 clinic dates are September 27th in Millsboro at the Long Neck Methodist Church, September 30th in Rehoboth Beach at the Village Improvement Association, and October 1st in Lewis at the Cape Pharmacy. Appointments are not required to participate. Participating members are asked to bring identification and insurance documentation. And for a complete list of all of the dates and locations, you can head to the article on coasttv.com. The Delaware Office of Highway Safety is holding a national seat check tomorrow, September 27th, at the Bay Health Sussex campus from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They say the event is designed to help ensure that car seats are installed correctly and are appropriate for a child's age, weight, and height. Cambridge City Manager Glenn Steckman is announcing office hours tomorrow, September 27th at City Hall. He says his availability is from 9 a.m. to noon. You can either stop by or email him to make an appointment. Steckman says he is looking to make Saturday office hours a monthly occasion for people unable to get to City Hall during the week. The White House is rolling out new tariffs on a wide range of products from household goods to heavy trucks. President Trump announced a 50% tariff on imported kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and related products. Upholstered furniture is now facing a 30% tariff. Trump also imposed a 25% tariff on imported heavy trucks, citing concerns about foreign competition. The United States Postal Service says prices will not rise again at the beginning of next year. The Postal Service announced the price for market-dominant products, including first-class mail, will not increase this January. In addition, the price of a first-class stamp will hold where it is at 78 cents into early 2026. The Postmaster General says there won't be price changes until mid-next year.
Well, we've been dealing with some showers across parts of Delmarva this morning, primarily across the southern half of the peninsula. It's a mild, muggy start, but we will see some improving conditions late this morning through the afternoon. But an unsettled weekend lurks. We'll talk more about that coming up in that full 7-day forecast just after a break.
The time is now 6:19 and we are taking a live look outside at Lewis this morning. And Chris, it is Friday, so everyone wants to know, are their Friday and weekend plans going to be ruined by rain? We have people going to concerts, football games. No pressure.
Good morning, Elisa. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're trending a bit unsettled into the weekend. Now, we're going to salvage the afternoon. We're dealing with some soggy, rainy conditions, really from the southern portion of Sussex County on southward. Not much in the way of rain, northern Sussex through Kent County and northern midshore, but you can see some heavier rain extending from Smith Island through Lawson, Chrisfield, seeing the rain, some steadier, moderate pockets of rainfall through Chincoteague. The heaviest thunderstorms have been to our south, and they're beginning to push off the coast as drier air slowly works in behind this front that's going to stall out just to our south over the weekend. We're seeing some fog there. We had some rain in Salisbury, 72 degrees, winds are calm. Where we are seeing, where we did see the rain, we are seeing some fog develop at this hour. We're at 68 Harrington, 73 Rehoboth, 73 in Ocean City. As I mentioned, seeing some patchy fog develop in and across Dorchester County, down through Wallops Island. So use some caution out there this morning. Winds are calm, but we're going to be shifting more out of the northwest through the afternoon. It's going to be rather tropical, though, over the next few days, and that's a good sign. Look at that. Dew points in the 50s and 40s late next week as some autumn air works into the region. So we cleared the showers out through the latter part of the morning. Afternoon looking really nice. We're going to get up into the lower 80s for most of the interior Delmarva. A pleasant Friday evening. We'll see skies, clouds increase through the overnight, so we'll wake up to a cloudy Saturday. So after a few morning showers, we'll rebound into the upper 70s and a pretty decent afternoon. Pleasant, and we're looking pretty good for Friday night lights this evening. Temperatures falling to around 75 around the start of those games to a temperature of 69 degrees. So rain chances ramp up again Saturday night, and then we're looking at some potential tropical moisture working into the region early next week. So most of Saturday, I think the first half of Saturday is dry. We'll begin to see some rain work into the western portion of the peninsula and then extend to the coast. If you're making your way out to Ocean's Calling Saturday night, looking at some rain there. Could be heavy at times, even a rumble of thunder. Not expecting any severe weather, but certainly a soggy evening, and then we'll see a damp start to our Sunday with a lot of clouds and a northeast wind. So a lot of clouds into the weekend with that rain Saturday into Sunday. Watching the tropics, we have Hurricane Umberto just intensified into a hurricane this morning, and this will likely become a major hurricane into next week. But the good news is the trend is it will eventually curve out to sea. We're keeping a close eye on this area that will likely develop into Imelda. This may go into the Carolinas, and depending upon how far north that precipitation shield gets, we could see some bands of tropical rains into early next week. So we're at 76 on Monday with that potential tropical moisture into Tuesday, could even linger into Wednesday, and then we clear out pretty nicely late week with some nice fall-like air returning with temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Thursday night, leaders from the Roxana Volunteer Fire Company shared details about a $5 million campaign to expand their Station 2 on Route 54. As CoastTV photojournalist Matt Hipsman shows us, some community members think that money should go towards recruitment.
We're having a campaign kickoff in collaboration with the Bethany Fenwick Chamber of Commerce. We're looking to upgrade our new station on the 54 corridor to increase response times and services to the residents.
They're pretty far away from the ocean front, so if anything ever happens there, it takes some time for them to get there. So, and unless Ocean City or South or Bethany is going to cover it, there's really a gap. I do believe there's got to be some type of substations at least manned during busy season to help out.
We just have a smaller station that can't house any of our employees, or if we have a storm or anything, we can't man that station. So it's needed in that aspect. And the cost of building is just continuing to rise regardless of if you're building a house or a commercial building.
Just because we have adequate funds at this time does not mean that we don't need it down the road.
Anything we can do to assist them in raising $5 million, the capital that's required to build a new fire company close to Fenwick Island, I would support that. With that being said, we also need to support and create new programs. We've got to get good programs in not just Roxana, but throughout the state of Delaware. Programs about recruiting, retention, and also raising of the money. And I highly suggest, actually, if we are a true volunteer company, I would suggest we actually create a program and start it in the high schools.
So the Facet study is showing sustainability. We are nearing the top of that for Sussex County, which is a good thing, meaning that we've been responsible and that we're not going to go anywhere, and we're going to do the right thing.
And coming up, your cool things to do this weekend. We have a great lineup of food festivals, annual traditions, and musical events, so stay tuned.
Across Delmarva, veterans had a chance to find their next job this week. A job fair and resource event was held at American Legion Walter L. Fox Post 2 in Dover. On hand were employers for industries like hospitality, healthcare, and law enforcement. The Department of Labor, which organized the event, says it's important for veterans to catch back up to the current labor market.
They come back from serving, maybe their skill sets don't align with the current markets that we have right now. And a lot of times they should, and they train them well, but at the same time, the job market is continuously rising and changing, and it's developing at a quick and fast pace. So what we try to do is help them get caught up and provide them with opportunities to kind of get back into the workforce here in the country.
The Department of Labor says most veterans are just looking for the tools to get themselves back to feeling a sense of independence. And Chris, we've been talking about and reminding people that it is the first week of fall, even though I've seen a lot of people at the pool. I have not been to the beach this week, but I'm sure a lot of people took advantage of this warm weather and went to the beach as well.
I know, right? Take advantage of it while you can, right? For those folks that love summer, we've had the warmth, the humidity really hang on this week, and we're seeing a lot of clouds out there. We've seen some drizzle, some showers. That is beginning to push off the coast in Lewis, 71, but a very tropical-like start to our day. And we've seen some showers primarily south of Fenwick Island through Ocean City and points south, but we are going to be improving through the afternoon with temperatures getting into the upper 70s there. Lower 80s by this afternoon in Lewis and Rehoboth Beach. Mid to upper 70s to Cambridge and Crisfield, starting off damp with some showers, but we are going to be gradually clearing through the afternoon. So looking pretty nice. George Pribolik, Milton, Delaware, you're the winner of our Coast TV weather umbrella, and you get your latest forecast by dialing the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. We'll have a look at your weekend ahead coming up in the next half hour. Lisa.
Thank you, Chris. Well, it looks like it's going to be one of those weekends where you wish you could be in two places at once, whether you're hungry, curious, or just ready for some fun. Christina DeRobertis has your cool things to do.
Well, you might want to get your calendar ready because we have a lot to choose from this weekend. You can eat, you can learn, even exercise in a cool way here on Delmarva. The Tanger Outlets in Rehoboth Beach will be full of food for the Foodies Food and Culture Festival Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a big event. More than 40 food trucks and about 60 local artisans will be there, plus admission is free. In Lewis, it's the first and only book festival in the country devoted to history. The 9th annual History Book Festival runs all weekend in the city's historic district. Also in Lewis, it's annual Johnny Walker Beach Day Saturday starting at 10:30 a.m. The annual program highlights the beach's role during segregation and Johnny Walker's legacy in Lewis. Salisbury is gearing up for a major fall tradition Saturday, the Seagull Century Bike Ride. It's now in its 37th year, and the Seagull Century cyclists will pass by beautiful coastal vistas, farmlands, and historic towns on Delmarva. Get ready, Ocean City! The Ocean's Calling Music Festival is back this weekend with thousands of fans, headliners like Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day, and really it's music for every taste. The Crooked Hammock Brewery's Crooktoberfest is running until October 13th with cookout-style specials, some German flair, and fresh fall beers.
I'm most excited about the two specific beer offerings that we have releasing for this promotional event. One of them is our Crooktoberfest lager, which is a traditional Märzen or amber lager that you would expect to see in the fest tents.
Sounds delicious, and you can find all event details, tickets, and more for everything we just told you about over on CoastTV.com. Just click on Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
Audit sparks alarm. Why a Slaughter Beach Fire Company's records raise serious red flags. Bypass complete. A look at the $140 million project aimed at easing Millsboro traffic. Ocean's Calling returns. Big crowds, live music, and beachside vibes hit Ocean City this weekend.
Good Friday morning, Delmarva. Damp, muggy start. Seeing a last batch of showers push through the southern portion of the peninsula. We are looking at drier conditions this afternoon, but an unsettled weekend. I'll have details next.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Lisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 6 o'clock hour. It is 6:30 on this Friday morning. We are almost to the weekend. But first, I'm going to talk to Chris about something I know might be stressing him and Matt out this weekend. Chris, tomorrow, you do like those Nittany Lions. How do you think they're going to do against the Oregon Ducks?
I hope we get that offense going, and they look the way they did against Villanova. Big game there, yes, in Happy Valley tomorrow night, and we have a big weekend here on Delmarva with the concert in Ocean City. We're dealing with some fog across parts of the area, but doing pretty good there in Lewis. We had a few light showers this morning, but we're beginning to dry out, and we should be improving through the morning with the skies beginning to clear, partly cloudy through about 10 a.m. with a temperature of 73 degrees. But you can see further to the south from Ocean City, Salisbury, we've been dealing with some light to moderate rainfall. The heaviest rain beginning to clear out of Crisfield and beginning to push, continue in the Chickateague, but it's pushing off the coast. The heaviest rain, southern Accomack County. We had a pretty good thunderstorm there that moved through Cape Charles, and we have one little thunderstorm there pushing over the bay. But other than that, we're beginning to dry out behind this cold front, and that front's going to kind of stall out over the southern portion of the peninsula over the weekend. Where we have seen rain, we are seeing some patchy fog, so use some caution out there this morning. 72 Rehoboth to 71 Georgetown. Still quite muggy out there with those dew points in the 70s, but we're going to be pretty nice by the afternoon with temperatures rising upper 70s to low 80s. The weekend trending unsettled. We're tracking a period of rain, could be heavy at times late Saturday through Sunday, but overall looking pretty good this afternoon with temperatures getting upper 70s to lower 80s. We'll talk more about that rain coming up over the weekend, as well as a new hurricane in the Atlantic. We'll talk about how that may impact our weather early next week, coming up in that full 7-day forecast. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this half hour concerns over how a fire company in Slaughter Beach handled its money. A state performance audit found the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company did not follow certain policies, kept poor expense records, and lacked strong oversight. The review covered 2021 to 2023, a period when state officials say the company received more than $2.6 million in state funds. Fire Chief Kent Glasgow told CoastTV the issues began under previous leadership and that corrective actions have already been taken to improve transparency and strengthen financial integrity. This just in, the Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says current leadership has already enforced several changes. According to a new statement from the agency, some of the changes include hiring an independent accounting firm to manage payroll and more, mandating supporting paperwork and review of all major expenses, and more oversight of the annual budget. The Memorial Volunteer Fire Company says, quote, "These changes ensure the MVFC remains accountable to our community, our members, and our funding partners," end quote. On your screen now is the North Millsboro bypass. DelDOT held a ribbon cutting on Monday, but rain delayed the opening of the roadway until Thursday night. The bypass stretches over the Millsboro Pond and has 4 bridges. Construction on this massive project lasted just over 2 years, with the cost reaching past over $140 million. DelDOT says this will ease congestion in downtown Millsboro. The bypass is expected to fully open this morning. However, according to DelDOT, after the bypass opens, there will still be intermittent lane closures as final road striping is complete. Happening today in Ocean City, the town expects to see around 50,000 people at the big music festival. Today marks the start of Ocean's Calling 2025. On your screen now is a look inside the 3-day event. On Thursday, there was still work to be done before those gates opened. Crews could be seen making final preparations. Town leaders are expecting waves of people, and businesses near the event tell us they're excited for the crowds. New this morning in Dewey Beach, commissioners are expected to choose a new mayor. That is according to the agenda for this afternoon's town council meeting. Commissioners are set to vote on appointing the mayor for a 1-year term, followed by a swearing-in ceremony. Also on the table, an ordinance to repeal the town's alarm code while keeping false alarm violations a civil offense. There is also a proposal for the Planning and Zoning Commission to look at setting a mandatory minimum number of trees required for new construction projects. New overnight in Texas, Camp Mystic says it's planning to partially reopen next summer after devastating flooding killed 27 campers and counselors in early July. But as NBC's Priscilla Thompson shows us, some victims' parents who successfully advocated for new camp safety law in Texas are not happy about it.
This morning, Camp Mystic in Texas announcing plans to reopen next summer. It comes after 27 young campers and counselors tragically died at the girls' summer camp on July 4th during catastrophic flooding in the region. Families of the victims receiving an email shared with NBC News by a source close to them that reads in part, "Our planning and procedures will comply with the requirements of the camp safety you bravely championed." Camp Mystic also writing it plans to build a memorial to capture the beauty, kindness, and grace of the girls that died. 9-year-old Lila Bonner was killed in the flood. Her father, Blake, telling the New York Times the families of the deceased Camp Mystic campers and counselors were not consulted about and did not approve this memorial. The mother of 8-year-old Seal Stewart, who is still missing, saying, quote, "Camp Mystic is pressing ahead with reopening, even if it means inviting girls to swim in the same river that may potentially still hold my daughter's body." The parents of 7 of the girls, known as Heaven's 27, speaking to our Jenna Bush Hager earlier this month.
It became very, very clear that this wasn't an accident, this was complacency, and it is 100% preventable.
Through their efforts, the Texas governor has signed 3 new bills into law. Among the new rules, preventing cabins in dangerous areas of flood zones and requiring all camps in Texas to have updated emergency and evacuation plans. Ahead of the signing of the legislation, 9-year-old Molly DeWitt's parents telling Today the goal was to get the safety regulations in place before next summer.
What's being laid out in this bill should be the bare minimum for what these camps should be looking to implement.
We are just getting started this morning on Coast TV News Today. We still have a lot more to get to in this final half hour. Coming up, seeking support for a new school. We'll tell you how Delmar locals are reacting to a possible referendum. And Gunston Volleyball is looking to stay undefeated. We'll show you the highlights from a showdown with Worcester Prep. An abrupt business closing, what this popular restaurant chain says after its future about shutting down all of its locations. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Well, good Friday morning, Delmarva. So we take a live look into Laurel. You can see the low clouds there. We've seen some rain across parts of Delmarva this Friday morning. We're at 71 there in Laurel, dew point 71, so very tropical, like stepping outside the door this morning, but any shower activity will be ending through the late part of the morning, and skies will be clearing through the afternoon. You can see the moderate pockets of rainfall, Pocomoke City down through Chicotee, Ocean City seeing some light to moderate rainfall. This is beginning to work off the coast. The heaviest rain has been in southern Accomack County. You can see another thunderstorm there pushing over the bay, but we're drying out back off to the west behind this cold front that's sagging southward. It's going to stall out over the region to the south of the region, keep us unsettled into the weekend. We're at 71, Milton 72, Delmar 73, Bethany Beach, and a big weekend there, Ocean City. We have the Oceans Calling Music Festival kicking off today. Well, tonight we are looking at drier conditions. The showers in the morning will looking pretty good this evening, and we are looking at some moderate to heavy rainfall working back into the region late Saturday through Sunday. We'll talk more about that and some tropical moisture that may creep into the region early next week. I'll have your full forecast here in minutes. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. The Delaware-born Iron Hill Brewery and restaurant chain abruptly closed all locations. This came as a shock to both the public and its employees. The company took to social media to thank its customers for their, quote, support, friendship, and loyalty over the years. While no reason was provided for the closing, Iron Hill says it hopes to make a return in the future.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans. We had all the fall sports in action across the peninsula on Thursday, so let me take you to the volleyball court for a little hard-hitting action. Gunston started the day 9-0, and of course they'd look to make it 10 with a win over Worcester Prep, and they'll definitely do it with kills like this from Addison Coldwell. Gets the first one, then later in the set, the Mallards of Worcester respond with this great save by Madison Andrews, and Sophie Nguyen gets the kill. But then Gunston would start to pull away in the first set, in part thanks to this ace from Scotia Hopper. The Herons win the first set 25-16, and in the second set, another save by Andrews eventually leads to this kill by Kaylee Atkins. But later in the second set, Gunston begins to take control as again Hopper serves up her second of 2 straight aces for the Herons. But the Mallards, they fought back a little bit, but they could not control this hit
from Coldwell, and Gunston wins the second set 25-21. Third set now, Coldwell hits a ball that goes just over the net and falls for the Herons. And then Gunston really started to run away with this third set as Allie Merkel serves up the ace. And the Mallards, they would try their hardest to fight back. This save by Merkel leads to Olivia Labrador getting it over the net. But the Mallards, they can't control it. Gunston wins the third set 25-21 and gets a 3-0 sweep on the day. Gunston Volleyball improves to 10-0 with the win for their season. That'll do it for sports. Have a great day.
It's Friday Night Lights in the Delmarva Sports Network. Here's what's coming up. We start off at 5 o'clock with Down and Distance. Then at 5:30, it's Scoops and Scores. Your game of the night live at 6 p.m. Y-High takes on Cambridge South Dorchester in high school football. Then at 9:30, Pro Foot Volleyball. At 10:30, Nittany Game Week. And at 11 p.m., catch the final score. Along with that game of the night, there's even more high school football action to expect today on DSN+. At 5 o'clock, Stephen Decatur visits Queen Anne's County. At 6, North Carolina faces Easton. At 7, Laurel hosts Seaford. Also at 7, Cape Henlopen hosts Hodgson Votech. It's week 4 in the NFL regular season, and we have Sunday Night Football right here on Coast TV. The Green Bay Packers are in Texas facing the Dallas Cowboys. Coverage begins at 7, and stay here for Coast TV News following the game. We are once again gearing up for the Bless Our Children campaign. Every year, Draper Media works to make the holiday season brighter for children on Delmarva. The money raised goes to charitable groups who then buy Christmas presents. Right now, we are accepting funding applications from those nonprofits through October 1st. You can find a link at blessourchildren.org.
Well, damp, muggy start to our Friday. We've seen showers across the southern portion of the peninsula. Well, we're going to be improving through the morning and afternoon. A pretty nice afternoon, in fact. Getting up in the upper 70s to lower 80s. We are going to talk about more rain over the weekend and how the tropics may play a role in our weather early next week. Your full forecast right after the break.
The time is now 6:50 and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning. And Chris, we're not really seeing sunrise there on this camera that I usually say gives us a beautiful sunrise. If you're telling us be patient, the weather will clear up as we go through this Friday.
Yeah, this cold front slowly pushing through the area. We're dealing with those low clouds there in Laurel, dealing with rain across southern portion of the peninsula. Seeing some light to moderate rainfall pushing in through Ocean Pines, Fenwick Island, Ocean City, waking up to a wet start to your morning commute there along Coastal Highway. The heaviest rain is now beginning to push off the coast. Another area of thunderstorms pushing into Cape Charles and southern Accomack County. But we are drying out through the north and west, all behind this cold front that's going to stall just to our south over the weekend, and then we're going to see an area low pressure develop along that front and kick up some moisture later on this weekend. Ocean City, a gloomy start there, 74 with some showers, but we are going to be improving through the morning. We're at 69, Milford 71, Georgetown to 72 in Salisbury. Fog hasn't been a big issue this morning, but where we did see the rain, we are seeing some patchy fog through the morning hours. Winds are calm. And the humidity, well, not going anywhere over the next 3 to 4 days, but look at that plunge in dew points late next week, and it's going to feel pretty good this time next week here on Delmarva. We kick the clouds out, sunshine through the afternoon, and then we cloud up overnight, and then a mostly cloudy Saturday with some late rain. As far as this afternoon is concerned, highs upper 70s to lower 80s, 82 Cambridge, a gorgeous afternoon, 82 to Salisbury. A beautiful night for Friday Night Lights. We're going to be dry, pleasant, not that windy, with a mix of clouds and stars. Temperatures falling from 75 to 69 throughout those games. We ramp up the rain chances Saturday night, and then we watch for that potential tropical moisture early next week. Most of Saturday, at least the first half, is dry. We'll begin to see showers work into the midshore, western portions of the peninsula. Some heavier rain, even a rumble of thunder possible Saturday night. Wet Saturday night along the coast, and then we see some showers and downpours linger into early Sunday morning, but by daybreak, a lot of clouds, east wind, could see some spotty showers. There's Hurricane Umberto. Category 1 hurricane will continue to intensify through the weekend into a major hurricane. Most of the models want to curve this out to sea, but how it interacts with this system that's going to be developing into Imelda next week, that's going to be the question, and how far north that moisture gets. But we are looking rather cloudy and unsettled through the start of next week with some tropical moisture working in here Monday, Tuesday. The good news is, if you're asking for fall, there it is next Thursday. Temperatures in the 60s with sunshine. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. Across Delmarva, higher taxes could be coming to property owners in Delmar, Delaware. The school district is planning a referendum for next year. District leaders tell us they need more money to build a new intermediate school, and a referendum would allow them to do that and raise more money for other needs. But this will ultimately be up to Delmar, Delaware voters. Some neighbors we spoke with say they would support the tax increase. Delmar school district leaders could not tell us yet how much the taxes would go up, but they say they should have answers soon. The time is now 6:53, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's coastal pet of the day, coming us to the Brandywine Valley SPCA, is Halston. Halston is handsome and is sweet and a lovable cat that gets along well with other cats. He loves his head scratched and enjoys treats and catnip. If you want to adopt Halston or Cirrus, who we showed you in the other hour, or any other lovable pet, you can head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen, scan the QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friends to Coast TV News, then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. It is 6:56, and we are going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door. Chris, whenever it's the weekend, there's always a little extra attention on the weather. I don't know about this weekend. You said Friday's going to get better throughout the day.
Yeah, we're going to have more clouds than sun this weekend, unfortunately. Cooler, still a bit on the muggy side, but we are going to be dealing with another period of rain Saturday night. We're dealing with the last of the shower activity. It's been a rainy morning for our southern counties. Some moderate to heavier rainfall pushing through Assateague Island, but this is all pushing off the coast. Drier air is filtering in, and we're going to get those temperatures up into the low 80s this afternoon. And then we are looking at another period of rain late Saturday through Sunday. Not a complete washout of a weekend, but more clouds than sun. And then keeping a close eye on early next week for some potential tropical moisture working in the area. But then a beautiful stretch of weather kicks off late next week with highs in the mid to upper 60s. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today. The Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m. Then we'll be back for Coast TV Midday at 11. And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Friday morning.